Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you hear me okay. What's going on? Everything in okay. Hey Connie, good morning. Good morning, Miguel. Everything on my screen um is just a little slow here. Oh wow. Okay. Hang on just one sec, guys. I'm just fooling around with something. Just bear with me a second here. Okay. So this is good. Okay. You can watch. No, I'll refocus. In just one sec. So, sorry, I have the pound on. I'm actually traded a little bit of NAS, and I think you guys can kind of follow on this move here if you want. I mean, it's I'd be a buyer here in the 70s. Let's see, we're a buyer at 70s. Let's see if this kind of hold. Maybe not. I had to move a little bit early. It was just before the market opened. I had a pop for 5 over here. So let's just assume we're somewhere around here. 65. Let's see if we can make the 70 trade here, make fresh highs. It's been a very, very strong sell-off all morning long, but typically we always have a bounce on the open, a reversal bounce on the open here. And so I'm kind of trying to trade this way to see if that works. In the meantime, yeah, it's there you go, there you go, 71, 72 on the thing. Sorry, I split my focus too many ways right now, which is too bad. Let's focus on equities because that was a nice clean opening trade. Just mainly because I already banked the pips, but it was very, very clear that you have a chance here for a turn trade because we've had quite a lot of selling, and finally we get that that look that we love. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here on my positions. The look that we love, which is the little bit of a higher low on the red. So a breakout on that, especially on the equity side, is usually a pretty good trade. So that's kind of like the opening trade for now on the NAS. We have to pretty much be patient on everything else because nothing else is really working. We're still very much in a negative trend trade on the Dow. All right. Well, and it's been a very, very negative risk off environment for everything. There's been like almost no opportunity to try to trade euro to the long side, pound to the long side. I made a couple of very quick positive trades. Then I also got clipped on the negative side as well because whatever bounces we're getting, they're very, very weak. I'll get to currencies in just one second, but just watching equities, and you see, there's really nothing setting up on the equity side here. Big sell-off. First rebound here, then makes a fresh low, so that's not a great trade. Makes another low, and honestly, really until and unless we get a breakout here, we just don't have any legitimate signal to the upside on the equity side. It's all very, very negative flows here. The NAS is always the easiest one to trade this way because it's the one that responds cleanest to the structure. Now, one thing I kind of really want to warn you against, right, is to never ever take the first green reversal signal after a long sell-off. So yes, sometimes you're going to get a V shape and it's just going to verticalize and it's going to be an awesome trade. As a matter of fact, I think you may have a sample of this. Yeah, here's a good sample. You have a strong sell-off, you get a V-shaped trade at 2 o'clock in the morning and it just blows up, and that's a nice clean trade for you if you get lucky. But generally, the V shape is a much lower probability than a confirmed bounce, where you have higher lows, some kind of a base that you can clearly see on the charts building, and then it's much easier to have confidence that the thing is gonna go higher. Even here, I traded this trade just for 5 points, and that was a really dumbass trade. I got very lucky. It really hit my high and then it just kind of moved off. And the reason why is because, again, you don't really see any concrete evidence of selling slowing down. Remember, when you're trading to the long side, what you want to see is evidence of selling slowing down, right? And here you don't see it. It's just evidence of selling accelerating, right? And conversely, what you're seeing here is evidence of buying slowing down, where the highs of the buy just are unable to break the most immediate highs, right? So this just sort of flounders around here, and this sell signal was obviously a very, very good one. I don't trade the sells because I'm really just trying to focus on the buy side bias. But there's no reason why you can't apply two-sided action to your analysis and kind of take the trades as you like. I'm just sort of constraining myself just to one side to really refine the entries on that stage. So where are we? So here we go on the Dow. So Dow is actually starting to shape up. So Dow might be an interesting trade for us here if we break the highs, because we need to break the trend line highs. Karen, are you there? Because I messaged you a couple of times, but I never heard back from you because the programmer was not sure what you wanted to do. Did you want, like, when the only alert we can give you is when there's a fresh trend line forming, right? I think, like, hang on, what I tell you as a message? Oh, sorry, finalize, not forming, because trend line forms on the moving average crossover. So if you want just the beginning of the trend line form, just do a moving average crossover alert, and you'll get the same thing. There's no point in doing it. So watching the Dow, but in the meantime, like, here's a few things that really nothing going on. The pound is really like I had a few bounces over here that were just mildly, just 5 pips, and that was it. The pound has just been in a relentless sell-off mode here. Same with the euro. Both high risk currencies. Although the euro, so here's the euro. The euro is looking like it's starting to form a higher low base, at least. So the next breakout in the euro, if we get it while we're talking, might be worth for us to take as a potential trade. Where's the Dow? Dow not doing anything. We're still just starting to formulate. Okay. So you just wanted the moving average crossover alert. So then you got it. Then you don't need to have the alert. Just kind of waiting for the market. The NAS is actually breaking out. So NAS is actually looking quite good to the upside. It's fine. Remember, one of the super clear patterns that we always have is whatever happens in Europe tries to be reversed. If there's a strong move in Europe, there's always try to be a reversal the other way, right? So it's kind of like we have the reversal trade here um, taking shape. It's just inevitable. If they buy it hard in Europe, the first thing they want to do is sell it in America. They love to play that reversal game here. Okay, sorry, I'm just fooling around on my on the currency side, but let me look at the euro. The yen crosses actually were a little bit better. So the yen crosses. So here's a good example. So we have the yen cross, right? It's it had the V-shaped bounce, which we we don't trade the V-shaped bounce, but now we're looking to see if we get any kind of a sign of stabilization here, any kind of a sign of oh, hang on, I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me. I'm so sorry. I gotta just for some reason did not do this. Okay, just wanted to attach a stop and a limit to a trade. So excuse me, a break to the a break to the upside here would be a pretty decent trade because we're clearly building a higher low. If we can hold this a higher low here, the selling is much more muted. The buying the support, it creates lots of interesting opportunities. With I'm fooling around with there's a script for those of you who are in my MT4 class. There's what's called a buy limit script that allows you to buy multiple open multiple positions like in exponential order, kind of like a quasi martingale script. And it actually is, I think, an interesting way to for us to trade these turns because assuming you have a hard stop and you're really spacing them very, very tightly. Because remember when I'm analyzing this data, what I found was that there's almost always at least a 2 or 3 pip slippage. And then, there's usually a 5 or 7 pip slippage, from the entry, from your buying. So if you buy small first and then 3 pips down a little bit more and 5 pips down a little bit more, and then you have the same stop, hard stop everywhere, your biggest piece is going to have the smallest stop on it. And that's going to mitigate your risk. And also, obviously, if you catch it and it bounces back, you get the biggest P&L on that particular trade. So I found that to be a kind of I'm fooling around with it. We just need to modify the script to put the stops and targets into the script so it kind of works. But I think you guys will find it interesting. So this is like starting to turn around a little bit, and we can keep an eye on this because a break here, I would trade this to the upside, no problem. I'm actually gonna set up my my long entry, and if it triggers, I'll let you know. And cable is just starting to possibly, and again, the operative word here is possibly build a base, but it really needs to know if you can hold these lows. Cable is super weak this morning. I don't know why the selling in cable today. And even the euro is just nothing. None of them are holding bid. Dollar is just much stronger. On the yen side, it's just the yen carrying the move. So it looks like we might get a trigger here on euro yen if it pops through this level. And let me see what's going on in the Dow. Dow still unable to clear this point. The NAS reversal trade was very. By the way, I don't know if you guys. There was definitely. It just took forever yesterday to get the opening session reversal trades going, but the NAS did trade to the upside yesterday on a reversal basis. Even after it sold off, and then it had a very very strong move in the middle of the day, and then it came back and settled off. I mean, I think the markets are really going through a very oh, yeah, sure, Jonathan. No, this is not the Ichimoku cloud. No, it's nothing. I mean, Ichimoku cloud is actually kind of like a similar idea, but this is um, simply the 1226 moving average shaded. So you can just see it visually so much better. And then it really clearly defines the trading opportunities for you. You know. Um, where's Euro Yen? Let me see if Euro Yen is breaking out. No, not yet. Not yet. It's Pound Yen. Pound Yen has had a very, very strong sell-off. I traded this little bit of Pound Yen, and again, the key thing with this setup is you really have to be very, very disciplined about. You need two things to make this happen and have some degree of confidence. You need the two red lows to be at worst equal, but at better case the most recent one higher, but at worst they have to be equal. Then you need a break signal, not just a green shape, but a break signal. If you get both of those, you have a reasonable chance that you get like 5-10 points. This actually went, I think, where did it go? 51 to 60. It went like 10 points up. But, and here's the interesting point, it came in 52 and then it came all the way down to like 47. So if you had bought 3 pips down, you would have had one average, maybe not two averages. You would have bought 52, 50. I'm not sure you would have gotten 47, but if you did, you would have been able to get a great blended price in the most, in the biggest size for the trade, which would have really worked nicely for you. Yeah, so Euro Yen not really working. I mean, not breaking out. And the key thing is you need that breakout confirm. If you don't have it, you can't just bet on the fact that it's turning green. You got to have the breakout to have confidence that they're able to to smash it higher. And even like I was going to say, you could have traded even here. It's by no means a guarantee, because here it was just a complete, you blew up, and it had, inevitably it's going to happen. I'm just trying to make it happen as infrequently as possible. Today was just a very, very negative risk day, so it's just driving everything down. Okay, we got the sorry. Okay, let's get into this. We got the break on the Dow 25. Let's get into 25. Targeting 35. Let's see if we can get 35 out of this thing. Again with a big stop here. Yeah, it's really slow. What was the high on this thing? How high did it go? I did go 35. Okay, let's see if we can extend a little bit. But you see, by the way, sorry, my dog is barking. You see, by the way, that on the Dow, speaking of a setup, this is just a mildly okay setup. So here we're at 32. Well, I guess we could take the 32s. Okay, I would take the 32s for 7. The reason why I'm take it right here at +7 instead of +10, it might go 35, and there it goes. There it goes for you guys. If you guys took that, that worked. The reason why I was a little bit hesitant is because this isn't the perfect signature. You see that the second red is actually a little bit lower. but I am giving it the benefit of the doubt because it's the market opening, and it wasn't significantly lower that they really tested. It was kind of it was an exhaustive low here, right? But typically, you want the exhaustive low to be higher, not lower. But anyways, regardless of how you read the chart, you can see that the chart itself worked fine. Um, and um, and hopefully, you guys banked it. Let's go back to the currencies just to see if there's anything going on here. Not much. So euro yen still not showing anything. I mean, both euro and pound are. Ooh, euro just got crunched. So there's no trades here. And just to show you, it's not like this setup is always going to be a perfect setup, right? You can see that if you had looked at over here, you would have said, oh, this is you have a couple of bottoming out formations. I want to get long here at 86. Well, I think maybe you made 5. I think actually I did trade this. It did make 5, barely made 5. But it's it's really weak sample of this. I mean, we're just in a strong risk off day. It's like buying a falling knife. You just keep constantly getting clipped because the reversals are just not there. And that happens. So you have to just kind of if it happens twice in a day in the same currency pair, just stop trading it. It's just not worth it because there is no strong reversal pattern here. Now, by the way, what's interesting is, so this is actually pound yen, right? So this is the first bottoming of pound yen, and we can watch this carefully and see how well it holds, and where it holds. Euro yen just completely came down. Unless it kind of bottoms out here and makes a secondary bottom, tries to make a secondary run, you really don't have a legitimate trade here for the move. Yes, John, that's correct. John is asking, is it the highlight of the 2 moving averages? Yes. Which is, by the way, almost what Ichimoku cloud is also. I find actually my indicator to be much cleaner and better than the Ichimoku cloud because it's not like I think we can. Where's the indicator? Let's put an Ichimoku cloud on this. Oh, where's the public library? What is this? Ichimoku? Ichimoku cloud. Like, look at this. What is this crap? It's, even if I took off my combo alerts, right? What is this? This is garbage. It's complete garbage. Tell me you can, you read this. There's a trend line. You got to break this. You got to break this. It's all bullshit. It's very unclean. Sorry, let me just, you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. Leave. I don't know if you guys agree, but I certainly feel that my stuff is much cleaner to read, much easier to understand, and much simpler to grasp. Just looking through the other currency pairs just to see what's going on over here. basically very, very tight ranges, right? Really super tight ranges. Although if you're kind of reading the chart here, certainly long dollar CAD, which is positive. I mean, it's basically a positive dollar day. And if it's a positive, you can also kind of just do your analysis and say, well, is today a positive dollar day or negative dollar day? Obviously, yields helping the dollar today, pretty positive dollar day. So you could just change your bias and say, I want to be long dollar CAD. The long trades here working much better than the short trades. So if you were long here, you were doing much better on the trades. Right now, basically, if you're looking for the pound or the euro, you're just looking for any kind of a sign of bottoming, which is very problematic right now. A little bit of bottoming here on dollar yen. And we can see where it's going. Where's the euro yen? I don't think euro yen is. So okay, this is a good example of what I'm talking about in terms of signatures. It appears that we may be getting a little bit of a bottom on the reds. We have to give it at least 5-10 more minutes just to see how this whole thing forms. But if you get this, plus you get a breakout to the upside, right? That would suggest that maybe they sold the euro hard into the North American session. You're going to try, euro yen. They're going to try to reverse this back up, to the day's highs. At least you would have a modicum of confidence that if that pattern had developed, then you could join the move. But until that pattern develops, you really don't have any legitimate any legitimate trade on this. What we can do? It's Friday. We haven't done this because I haven't looked at gold at all. And I know you guys all trade gold, so I thought you might be interesting to just take a look at the different patterns here. So honestly, geez, the 1 minute chart is just, I think gold is too illiquid. That's what the other thing is. The less liquid the instrument, the longer the time frame, because it's going to be incredibly choppy, right? And even then, a lot of it is contingent on the time frames. I'm just looking at gold here. So we have super strong sell-off, big secondary break, lower low, tries to bounce back, higher low. This higher low fails. This signal we would have been in this signal would have been failed. Yet another fresh low. And so this is I don't know if you were trading for what? For $1? I don't even know how I would trade gold. If you're trading for $1, you would have made the dollar. But it's beginning to, on a 5-minute chart to show a semblance. I guess a second high break here above 1772 would be a much more bullish sign here, and you could you could try to trade it for a little bit of a longer move. Looks like equities are completely changing direction right now. But here's a good example where you have lower lows, and this finally kind of exhausts itself over here, and this break up really creates a very strong signal. And if you sort of were a little bit hesitant, then certainly the second signal here was a great signal for the upside. Then if you were trading the other way, and you said, oh, now so this was a high, it broke down, then the next high was considerably lower, right? Although this is so volatile. This is why gold is so hard to trade. It sold so hard in the break that there wasn't, I don't think there's much much left. 64. Well, it was like $10 on this move, but kind of very, very spiky. This is one of the reasons why I have a hard time trading gold. All right, going back to equities. So the next question for us is opening, opening half hour, opening hour rotation is to the upside. And obviously now, if we're going to trade the reversal trade, we're looking for the market to reverse, create a strong break to the downside, and then that would be the trade that you try to take on the reversal side. But for now, because we've had such a strong sell-off, it could be noon before you get that signal. I mean, look at the NAS. It's just completely changing around, and flipping the signal the other way. Even euro, I think even euro yen as a risk pair. Nah, still not doing anything. The currencies are very, very quiet. They're not really not doing anything. And this is kind of interesting. So a lot of times when you have this very, very strong sell-off for the day, right? What is it, 10? In about an hour, we're going to get London close. So at London close, that's where you get the reversal close. Also, it's end of the month. I totally forgot. It's end of the month. So one of the reasons why you're not getting any kind of a two-way price action is precisely because we could be having corporate flows, like just corporations having to sell euros all day long. They don't care. They got 20 billion, 30 billion to sell, and the dealers can't reverse them. Like the dealers have to absorb all of this. They have to absorb all this flow because there's just too much coming in one direction, and they can't change the prices. And that's probably the reason why we're having such a hard time trying to find turns here to the upside. Today, I totally forgot. Today is the end of the month flows that are obviously having a big impact here. And maybe actually, I was wondering, like, why did the pound just fell like a stone? That's clearly some end of the month flows. But this gets kind of interesting here. So we have these two little, red bottom formations. Is the end of the month flows kind of going to be done in about half an hour? Are they going to be able to hold it down and reverse the moves? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Jonathan, is that clear to you about how I use it and how I read the charts off of it? Jonathan Maslow. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got a lot of Johns here. So one I noticed one interesting pattern with this. You rarely get it, but like if you can, that it's helpful. The pattern that you left to see if you were looking for a turn to the upside is you want it to just not break the trend line, right? So you testing lows doesn't break the trend line. You have a equidistant or just maybe slightly lower bottoming, and then you turn to the other side. If you can get all those three things aligned, that tells you very clearly that sellers are done, and then you have a chance here to turn the flows to the other side. But that doesn't pop up a lot. I'm trying to see if I could find some examples of this. Definitely not today. Let me see if I can find it. You don't quite, you actually do break the trend line lows here, very little, but you have a clear higher red. So to break to the upside here, it gives you a very nice clean move to the upside, right? It's a V-shaped reversal. There's nothing you can do. You just trade it. One of the dangers, by the way, this is a really interesting caveat. So super interesting caveat. When you have a V-shaped reversal, don't look for a secondary confirm because the profit is like you miss this profit. Don't try to chase it over here because it's much more likely that it's the exhaustion point at that point than not. What you want is, and again, you're not getting once the green kind of climbs above the red in a single V-shaped format. Just forget it. Just forget it. That's not the pattern you want. Let it go. Just let it go on the upside because it's not a bottoming pattern. It's already it already V-shaped itself out, right? So let me see if I can find anything that gives us a semblance of remember. So this is a pattern that you want. You got nice red ones. You get this. You have a nice clean 9-10 points to the upside, right? Here's a pretty decent pattern where you got the reds. You got this higher red. This breaks out. This is a little bit of a chase, and very choppy, but better. It's still okay because you really didn't break the highs over here when you went there. Again here, big V-shaped bottom, and the fact that this was a lower high would have probably prevented you from taking the trade. And again, the thing about this is some of it you kind of have to interpret to yourself, and you have to say to yourself, well, what am I going to compare it to? If I compare it to this one, it's definitely lower, but if I compare it to this one, it's pretty equidistant. It's actually even higher, right? And so if you say to yourself, what, it's not so far away. It's a decent, it looks like it's a pretty decent double bottom. I'm ready to trade this to the upside. You definitely have a decent chance because you don't always. The point is the markets are not always perfectly going to give you higher highs on a continuous basis, right? And then it at this point it's already too late. You've already had the big move to the upside. It's already had its it's straight to the upside. Now I'm just looking to show you another. So we have sell off. This is a little bit late. Why is this so late in terms of picking it up? Because you're well above this red line here, the highs over here, right? So you just by watching the chart, you can see that you're putting yourself, you're kind of putting yourself way out on the ledge, trying to catch this move. This is not so bad because here you have the low, you have the little red low over here, breaking out over here. You're in a decent position, and you put yourself in the right position. It's just a matter of finding the quality setup after a move, right? After the move that you want. So okay, here's a big move. Oh, this is today. I think this is today, right? So today there's just nothing. Like right now we're still looking for a turn. It's actually not giving us anything. Still braced. The cable is still getting sold really hard on the end of month flows. On the other hand, euro yen kind of holding, and remember, these are holding above this low. If they start turning around, that's, as I said, not a bad trade to the upside if we can get it. Like, it's a big if. You have to have the trade happen. Kiwi dollar to the downside, yeah. So as I said, I'm only just right now looking to the to the upside trades. But if you look, yeah, certainly if you change your perspective to the downside, you're just simply trading the other way. So you have lower highs. It's super easy to catch this. Today is a strong dollar move. So if you want to just if you kind of just say to yourself, you know what, is today a strong dollar move or a weak dollar move? If it's a weak dollar move, I just want to look for the buys. If it's a strong dollar move, I want to look for the sells. And then the sells show themselves up super cleanly. Like this would have been a very, like you said, a super clean trade to the downside on the Kiwi. Aussie also crashing. I mean, everything is crashing today. Super easy. Lower highs over here, especially against this breakdown here. Boom, you can take it. Making fresh lows. Meantime, back to equities, which, we ran that little thing. Now it's turning negative, right? And reversing, but we need I need a strong break to the downside in order for this to be a true reverse signal. Where's the NAS? NAS is actually still very, very strong. So, honestly, I don't see anything going on right now. It's going to be probably another couple of hours of this chop. To me, let's sort of, we can catch up on Monday, but to me, the interesting trades here is euro yen to the upside if it can turn. If it can turn, that's a big if. If I get a break to the upside, I'll trade this because that to me is the most interesting trade here. Pound yen again, also it's very negative now. But if this is sort of like the end of the selling for pound, and the rest of the afternoon they can chop and turn itself around, then yeah, maybe they can. You can try to trade the pound yen to the upside. The euro and the pound themselves, I think, are much weaker, and you want to trade it through the crosses. But if you're trading just strong dollar, most of the strong dollar trade is already done. I think even dollar CAD is kind of done, right? So it had all these big moves to the upside. At this point, I wouldn't want to be chasing this to the upside. So we'll. What is this? Oh, this is Dow. It's interesting. Yeah, man, Dow is just so slow. I'm trying to think if do I want to take this short? I mean, you could, and it's good for like 6 or 7 points here if you took it. But nah, it's okay. I mean, you traded just if you stay disciplined to the idea of, okay, we're going to reverse the opening trade, just take 10 points, that would have worked too. But I'm not counting this because I didn't commit to this trade. We did take the long NAS, the long Dow. Those are 2 good trades for 20. This one actually works fine. I really should trust my reversal setup. But you can see it. It's sort of like, we had the opening green range, turn to the red, strong signal here that definitely gave us the full 10 points. I don't know if anybody followed the Dow to the downside, but that definitely worked. Nobody trade that? Anybody took the Dow to the downside? No? Okay. Oh, Jonathan. Jonathan took it for 5. Good for you. Okay. So not a bad day. I mean, 20 points, 25 if you count the Dow. Even though it's been sort of very slow and very lackluster today. As I said, I'm watching for the rest of the day. This may turn out to be a complete bust. In other words, if we start making fresh lows here, then you can forget my whole turn trade idea. If we're able to hold the 60s for another 5-10 minutes, and they start bidding it back up, and most of the selling in the euro and the pound is done, yeah, then then we have a chance. But look at the pound; it's just unbelievable. One thing I was going to say, a very dangerous trade, very, very dangerous methodology, but What's interesting about this is that you actually can practice this well because you're seeing the moving average envelope, right? If you're gonna do like what I call a mean reversion trade, that is just trying to catch falling knives, the only way, the best way to do this is when you have massive white space, like right now, like 47. Let's say we bought 47s, because the only way you're going to trade mean reversion is when it's incredibly stretched away from moving averages. That's the only, unlike now you're up 3 points if you bought it. Is the only way for you to properly catch a bottom and catch a top, and now you're up 4 points. But you have to literally be willing to get long at very stretched. Yeah, it has to be stretched away completely, and not just like in the first or second candle, but it's got to be like this is exactly what I like to do, where you have stretch away from the moving averages, consolidation, and a final stretch, like one more stretch away. That's when you want to be buying, because then they're going to try and come back to the moving average to try to do a little bit of bottom fishing. But generally not a setup I recommend. It's just if you want to have fun and fool around trying to catch bottoms on small sizes, that's the only way to do it. Oh, good. Karen got 30 on that, so that's good for you. Yeah. But anyways, that's my final thought ideas for the week. So what I'm gonna do. The indicator is ready. I'm just working a little bit more on this, on a little buy to dip script, just to see if I can get myself into better blended prices on when I do get the setups, so that I can I can optimize my risk reward even better. I'll let you know how that works out, because Daniel's still working on the script. But other than that, we're in good shape. We're definitely getting the structure and methodology properly, and we can watch. As I said, the only story for me on the currency side to watch is if this turns to the upside sometime in the next hour or two, then I'd be willing to take it, because that would tell me that we're kind of sold out, ready for the move the other way. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, guys, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me this week. Hope you guys really like the new indicator. I absolutely love it, and hope you guys can use it in just a multiple amount of ways. Let me know, any other ways you guys use it. I'll be happy to share. All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday for the webinar.